Seaside is a caring, connected, and expanding spiritual community, sharing practical tools for richer living.
Just your heart to show you how you can be the change if you wanna.
We join in partnership with God to influence our lives for good, whether for improved health, finances, relationships, or simple happiness and joy.
Plant a flower, watch it grow. You will reap what you sow. You gotta be the change.
How do you like the TV show? That's it? Come on, y'all. All these people in here. Let's make some noise up in here. Yeah, I like noise. Hi, I'm Rosedale. I am a practitioner here and a ministerial graduate soon to be in 2 more months. Thank you. I like that noise, man. Make some noise. So anyway, what I'm going to do is give you a couple of announcements, but the rest of your announcements, if you need to know, please look at Inside Seaside, because there's a lot of good stuff in there that you really want to take a look at. Now, on Saturday, March 24th, we are going to have this thing called March for Our Lives. And Marv has a slide that's going to show us a little bit about that. And anyway, it's the San Diego New Thought Centers and the Boulder Together New Thought and Action Center. They're putting together this march. And Dr. Kathy Hearn, our own, she's going to be having us meet at the waterfront park in Little Italy between the snack bar and the bathrooms at 9:30. And the march starts at actually 10 o'clock. So that's just to know for March 24th, March for Our Lives. I like that title. It's very catchy, don't you think? Yeah. And another thing is we're going to be doing the deep sound meditation. But before we do that, let me bring on the practitioner holding the light for today. Come on out. Well, there she is. Hi, Denise. Denise is our light holder today. So our practitioners are here to help you know your highest and best. Thank you. See, I like that noise, yeah? To help you know your highest and best and to make it all good. Anything in your life, count it good, make it good, but get some help from one of the practitioners. Because if you do that, maybe it'll make your life even much better. And then you can make somebody else's life better because you're happy, right? So use our practitioners for all that good stuff. It is really awesome. And the next thing we have coming up, every first Monday of the month, that means starting March. So we passed March, now April 5th, and then April 7th. No, April 5th and May 7th. It's going to be the sound meditation, but here's a win-win for the sound meditation deal. It's $20. But you get the resonation of the gongs and all the sounds and everything to line up with your chakras and all that great stuff. But at the same time, you are donating, your donations are going to provide tuition for food and for 50 disadvantaged students at Nepal. In Nepal. You know what, guys? Don't pay my, what is it, my accent and the way I talk. Nepal. Thank you. It's either water or water, okay? So I use water, you take water. So it's Nepal. Thank you very much. So thank you. And so you could bring a yoga mat and all that great stuff, but that's a win-win thing to me. You're getting all that relaxation and good music and stuff to align your body. At the same time, your donation is going to help the people in Nepal. So know that today is the new memberships class. Today is the new members class. And Tina, would you raise your hand, please? Tina, hi. I saw you. Okay, there you go. Raise your hand. Now, Tina, you can go see her at the end of the service because there's still more sponsors needed for the luncheon next week. So every year, every 6 months, we have this, and you need to come and, kind of give someone new a little sponsor. I know I was sponsored when I came, and I did the same thing back because it just felt good to be having a free lunch on somebody else, you know. So the next thing I want to tell you about, I know, silly, pavers. Remember, you know how we got out here? We got the pavers on the ground here, and it's a beautiful memorial out here on our. I call it the spiritual garden. What do you call it? Okay, there you go. See that? So now I want you to see this fabulous testimony that Marv is getting ready to show us about the pavers.
Well, hello, Seaside. James here, Seaside member and Trevor's personal jet pilot. I wanted to take a moment to discuss with you the paver program. When Seaside announced it in January, I thought, what a wonderful way to honor the memory of my father, Robert Kaplan, who we call Bobby Bear. I put it out to the family, got wonderful ideas, and this summer when the pavers are unveiled in the spiritual garden, my mom will be here with me along with other family members to just take a moment to enjoy the space and this loving place we have here and to honor Dad's memory. I wanted to invite you, if you have not considered it yet, to purchase a paver, either as part of a group or on your own. It's a wonderful way to leave a legacy to someone you love, to have a testimonial, and please come join us. Thank you.
Make some noise now. There you go. That's all about the pavers. Now, with that being said, everybody, enjoy the rest of this service. Hug your neighbor, because I'm coming out to get some hugs myself, because I like hugs. And then stay standing for the new song for the day. Yeah, come on.
1, 2, 3.
Good morning, everybody. Yes, let's all stay standing together as we sing I Trust in God. Yes, get some hands clapping out there. I'm thankful, so grateful. I'm one with the Spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. I'm happy, so happy. I'm one with the Spirit all around me. I'm happy, so happy. I trust in God. Loving, I'm loving, so loving. I'm one with the Spirit all around me. I'm loving, so loving. I trust in God. Surrender. I surrender. I surrender. I'm one with the Spirit all around me. I surrender. I surrender. I trust in God. I'm thankful, so grateful. I'm one with the Spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God.
All right. Woo. Thank you, Danielle. Hey, how you doing?
Doing great.
I understand you got a gig right after here, huh?
Gig right after here.
Where is that?
Well, we're going to be at La Costa playing for the U.S. Tennis Association today.
Wow, that was all those people I see on TV. How cool is that? Hey, good morning, Seaside. Oh, you made it. You made it through St. Patrick's Day. Nobody's hurting. We kind of outgrew that one, right? I know you're out gigging last night too, but anyway, what a joy. Welcome to the wonderful time where there's spirit, there's aliveness, there are shenanigans and all sorts of magic and leprechauns and green and just how wonderful to be here today. And how'd you like the beginning of the new TV show or the new beginning of the TV show? The live streaming. Nice job, Crawfords, in putting that together. Gosh, there's a lot of excitement. So wherever you may be on your spiritual path, know you're welcome here. It's a place without judgment. It's a place where we care and we love. And Rick, I see you brought your wheels out there. You got more people standing outside by your car. The band, I hardly got them in on time. But that's gorgeous. And you made that one for who? James Hanfield. He's like Metallica, right? James Hanfield. That's pretty cool. And did you do that on one of your TV shows, that one? Yeah, wow. How great. I hope, my wife's missing. I hope Trevor makes it. I text him and say, gotta come see Rick's car. But anyway, how fabulous. You know, fabulous things go on at Seaside. That's just the magic of living at the end of the rainbow, the fullness of the presence of the God. And one of the things that is going on that all of us helped do was birth and send two of our wonderful beloved family members to Australia. You know, Rick Merica and Reverend Robin Holt to start a new center for spiritual living, the Sydney Center for Spiritual Living in Australia. And they begin at the beginning of next month. This is their first Sunday. And so I had this idea. It's kind of a little crazy, but I think we can do it. I asked Steve if he would bring his camera or his phone and take a picture of all of us saying like, good day. How do you say it? Good day. Good day. Good day. Good day, mates. How about good day, Sydney? So that's it. And we'll do a wave. Why don't you guys we'll start on this side. Okay. We'll go from this side. Let's start over here. And we just stand up and wave and make a lot of noise and start off with good day. And they're going to play this opening day. That's our sister center over there. So
you're going to follow me across, and you all jump up and wave as I walk across. And then after the service, I will also get comments from all of you.
okay. All right. Hey. Woo.
On three, I want you all to yell in harmony. Good day, Sydney. You ready? 1, 2, 3.
Good day, Sydney. Hey, we love you. All right. So get some good messages sent over there. They're playing it opening day, and it's our sister center over there. We support them with our prayers, with our love, with some tithing, and we're just pulling for them. We're going to have our message take over the continent. How's that sound? Nothing but small visions around here. Anyway, I'll tell you what, I'm getting so excited about this morning, and time's getting away, so I just want to call up a wonderful practitioner here, Ellen Rice, who's for more than 20 years has been praying and developing her wonderful consciousness, and just get me calm, please.
Good morning, everyone. Just make yourself comfortable in your chair and shut your eyes if you wish. And just know with me, in this silence, it is in this silence that we connect with God. Knowing that there is just one power and presence in the universe, that works through our mind and thought. I know that God is working in the thoughts of every human being on the planet. And as we know this to be truth, I know that God is also working in all of the leaders of every country, healing all people, bringing peace to all people, bringing love and caring to all people. And so I know that as Reverend Christian speaks his word of truth here today, that each person receives their own personal message. And we know that this is a blessing for all. And so it is.
We let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the grace wash over us. We let it be.
Thought you would be rid of me, huh? Not. Good morning and welcome, Seaside, and all of the new people that showed up today, or first timers or several timers, welcome. And by the way, outside there is a welcome table that you would be able to, if you're new or not, pick up a nice little packet and take it home with you. And you'll be taking Dr. Christian home with you and a couple more pieces there as well. One more thing I'd like to tell you is that today is the new membership class at the end of the service. So come, please do. And the third thing I want to tell you, I thought I was going to say one more. I'm sorry, it's another thing. The third thing I want to tell you is that Tina, raise your hand, Tina, once again, they're looking for more sponsors, by the way, to bring more people to luncheons. And the next week is the luncheon. So this week is today is the class, next week is the luncheon. So just remember that. Okay, so now basically every year at this time we have the nonviolence going on, and then we're celebrating it, and it's a very good thing to do. So by April 3rd, which is the time Martin Luther King was assassinated, that will be somewhat the end of this particular season. But what I want to tell you is that in Seaside, what we do is we have this thing called good news. Because, you get enough bad news everywhere you go. But see, you don't have to listen to it, so don't get me wrong. I'm not telling you to go home, oh, it's bad. No, today I'm going to give you some good news. So this is what I'm going to tell you. I had some good news this week. My daughter, she's now 25, but this started back in 2010. At that time, she was a pretty big member in the CSL in North Carolina. She was one of the head youth, and she would help everybody and all. So at that time, for her whole 4 years of high school, what she did was she was the little water girl for the football team every year. She was in ROTC the whole time. So everybody was kind of priming the child to do something like go to ROTC, get your retirement, and do your thing and whatever. So I was pretty excited with that. I said, okay, good. So that's what she's gonna do, and she's gonna, do whatever she does. So one day she said, we gotta have a meeting. She wanted to call a family meeting. She said, oh yeah, sure. This is like the week before her graduation. So she says, I need to let you all know that I'm not gonna be going to ROTC. I said, what? I was kind of disappointed, because I thought this was where she was always going to go. Then she said, no, I'm going to be an athlete trainer. I guess she learned that being the water girl for that. You know, I don't know. But somehow it got her. So here's the clincher about her. She graduated from ECU towards that. Then she got her master's last December. And now she got what she said she wanted since 2010. And that is acceptance to George Mason's University. And that's on the East Coast too. So don't get me, I don't know what's that. But anyway, here's the deal. I said to her, when did you know you wanted to do that? Because I always look at it as spiritual. There's a spiritual cause for everything. She said, remember the visioning thing? You're the one who came up with the visioning, Mom. You know, you said vision. I've been visioning, and it's working, and everything else is working. So I'm just excited about that, to know that that child, no matter what happens to me, 100 years old when I pass, or 102 or whatever that is, I'm not going anywhere. But she is going to know what to do for life. And that's what makes good news for me. So give her a hand and make noise. Yeah. So that is the good news. So if you got good news, tell us at the end on the way out the door like you always do. But remember, kind of keep that good news note going on, okay, as we go into prayer. There is this power that's so strong, that's within me, that was there at the conception of my birth, that was there throughout my life, beating my heart, breathing for me, walking for me, thinking for me, always in the forefront of my life. This power is in everything we do. It's in everyone. This same power that runs through my veins and runs through around me is the same power that's within this entire service. And today, as we talk about that healing consciousness, as Dr. Christian so well eloquently is going to talk about that, and you get that beautiful song from Marianne Lewis, grab it, because it's all about the consciousness. And then you can grab whatever you want. You can grab a healing consciousness out of this mesh that's around us. It's invisible, but you can still know you're grabbing it. You can grab your prosperity consciousness. You can grab a health consciousness. You can grab abundance consciousness. But whatever you decide, be grateful the way I am right now, because I'm grateful that before this service even begins, so many consciousnesses have grown through it. And so I accept that as I sit through this service with everyone here. And I release that to the Lord, knowing that it can only return as the consciousness of our choice. And so it is.
Thank you for that good news this morning. I have good news too. Our guest artist this morning is Marianne Lewis, and there are countless great things to say about her. She is just phenomenal. She's a spiritual practitioner. She's been the assistant director for the Agape Choir for 10 years. She travels the world. She's had the pleasure to play for the Dalai Lama. She's played with such artists as Stevie Wonder. I may have heard of him. And she's here with us today. She has a wonderful workshop that's coming up. She can give you more information about that today, but it's called Awaken Your Inner Rock Star. So I like the sound of that. That'll be April 22nd. See her in the back. She has some flyers, and she will also be offering up free hugs at the end. So take advantage of that. Please welcome Marianne Lewis.
Thank you, Danielle. Good morning, Seaside. Oh, big hugs. I'm so grateful to be here today. I just love the energy and the spirit and just the love. So thank you all for having me. And thanks again for sharing your story about your daughter holding a vision. I remember as I was stepping into these classes and this teaching, and I started doing some visioning, and I caught this vision, and it just felt really big. And I said, oh my God, how am I supposed to do that? And, you know, as I continued just listening to the right Reverend Christian, Reverend Michael, talking about it's already done. So I just get to hold the vision, and all I have to do is walk. So this song came through to remind us about that. Is clear and there's nothing to fear. All I must do is walk. If the way is straight and I've a key to the gate, all I must do is walk. If I have all I need to sustain and to feed me, I'm carried each step of the way. Oh yes, then there's no need to wait, oh no, no, to wonder or talk. All I have to do is walk. Yeah, I'm gonna practice. Ha, ha, all I must do, yeah. If his arms are around me, catching my fall, all I need to do is lean, yeah. Since she's shining her light through my soul so bright, I can know what my life really means. It's a moment of glory, so sweet and divine. Heavenly secrets unlocked. In strength I stand in the Master's hand, and all I must do is walk. Hey, this life has everything, no limit to what we see. Build your bridge of faith and move to your dreams. This life has everything, no limit to what we see. Build your bridge of faith and move to the dream you were meant to be. Yeah, hey, yeah. What you got, Bob? The heartbeat inside that resounds as your guide. Take a stand, take a step, and walk. March in truth and in light. When you're called in the night, in the day, anytime you must walk. Yeah, there's only the one, so no harm can be done. Unshakable is your rock. Say yes to your place, it's just for you. And all you must do is walk now. I said walk on, yes. Oh, take your steps, take your steps. All we've got to do, all we've got to do, just take your step and walk now. Hold on to your vision. Everything is laid out for us now. Walk, yeah. I said walk, yeah. All we've got to do is walk, yeah. Can you say it? Walk, yeah. That's all we gotta do is walk, oh yeah. All we've got to do is walk, hey, yeah. Everything is laid out for us now. Well, you got everything. All we've got to do is walk, hey. These boots are made for walking. These boots are made for walking. We are the hands and feet. Yeah, everything here for us. Hold on to
applause. That is Marianne Lewis. Woo! You catch that vision and walk. I like it, I like it. Wow, what a great song. And that was your class project, huh? Wow, one of them. What talent. Thank you. Wow, and you look gorgeous, like New Year's Eve or something. How fun, how fun. Marianne Lewis, just touching our heart and soul. All right, so this morning is about unfolding the healing consciousness. And religious science, since its conception, has been about unfolding the healing consciousness. It is about healing. It's not about the words. It's not about the flowery poems and books. It is about experiencing and demonstrating healing in our life. And this year we celebrate the 100-year anniversary from Ernest Holmes' first book, Creative Mind, that he put out. So for 100 years, religious science has been rippling across our country and now across the globe. And it has all been about unfolding this healing consciousness, being that place of the divine download so it is able to move through you from that infinite expression. But what happens sometimes that slows down the healing is that we get caught up in the realm of effects, in the realm of this world of what's going on. And I love the analogy of Hoover Dam. You've been there? That big, huge dam, at least you've seen it. And behind Hoover Dam is nearly 160,000 acres of water. The surface of the water goes back 110 miles. I mean, it goes way back there. And so it's pushing itself through Hoover Dam, and it is creating these hydroelectric power. It's coming out. The water is pouring out there at 85 miles an hour at its peak, creating 400 billion kilowatts of electricity a year. Now, my head goes to math, figuring I pay between 15 and 23 cents a kilowatt. That's, let's say, 20 times 4. That's $800 million a year that dam is creating. That's pretty good. Not to mention the Colorado River that's pouring out from those rapids that are pouring forth from the dam. And if you look at the dam, I really get caught up in the water that is just powering out of there, creating all this energy. And one would think that's where it's at. That's where it's happening. But the truth is, at least my truth in this moment that I'm sharing with you, is it's not in that water that's coming out because that's spent energy. It's been there, done its thing, and now it's been exhausted. Where the power really lies is in that 110 miles of stillness that is behind it. Behind the dam is its potential, the infinite potential. In the quiet, in the stillness is the infinite. And what is important for me to realize when I'm getting caught up in all this action and the rapids and the activity in my life, that's not where the power lies. It lies inside of the calm, of the stillness. Being able to tap into that infinite potential is what unfolding a healing consciousness is about. Not getting caught up in the worries, the concerns, the rapids, the challenges, and where the energy is being expended. It's been expent. It's a matter of moving into a place of greater consciousness. And so healing, I believe, is spiritualizing our consciousness. Not getting caught up in the human drama, because our prayers so often will slip into trying to heal this. I'm not trying to heal anything. I mean, in religious science, we don't deny the human condition. I mean, we've got our aches and pains and challenges and difficulties and constrictions, all those things. But when you spiritualize consciousness, when you unfold the healing consciousness, you begin to recognize within the God consciousness, the human condition has no power. Within that God consciousness is the infinite, and it is not caught up with 85 miles an hour of rapids pouring out. It's not caught up with the pain and the drama. In that spiritual place, there can be no otherness. Ernest Holmes says, when you are one with God, you don't need anything. Right? When you're one with God, there's nothing lacking. So unfolding the healing consciousness is moving to that place of the greater connection, feeling that greater sense of spirit. Sounds so simple, doesn't it? Just go back into that lake, the calm. But what happens is when something raises its head in the human condition, it's almost as if we're ready to fight. Okay, bring it on. I mean, I'm ready to a good fight every now and then. That's good. And I think a lot of where that battle and the fight has come from is our upbringing. We heard Azim Khamisa a couple weeks ago tell us how many times a youth sees violence on TV or in videos by the time he graduates or she graduates. I mean, I can't even phantom how many times, I can't even repeat it. It's just amazing. I'll just stick with maybe 1,000 times a year, which is really only about 3 times a day or about 10 minutes of an active TV show. Yeah, it's like 1,000 times a year times 18. So by the time a child graduates, they will have seen at least 18,000 minimum acts of violence or murder in their lifetime. There's no wonder that when something is out of balance that we don't go to the stillness. It's all good, it's all God. No, we go, let's fight. I'm caught up in this human condition. I see the rapids pouring forth. There is energy. There is a fight that needs to happen. And so I jump into that energetic flow. I'm not raising and unfolding a consciousness of healing. I'm getting sucked into the human condition, believing that there's more power in that than in God. No, yeah, there's not. But I mean, it does happen. Not to you guys, I'm sure. And so what people do when they begin to fight the elements or life or the human condition, they want to insulate themselves, want to protect ourselves. You know, we spend in America billions of dollars every year on security systems to keep ourselves safe. We want to insulate ourselves from the natural expressions of life. Wow, we got a lot of flowers out there. That looks good. Haven't seen that. Must be Easter, getting ready. I've digressed. I'll come back. You know, we're inside. We miss out on nature. You know, we have air conditioners. We got heaters. We even have it in our cars. Heaven forbid we drive anywhere with the natural weather outside. You know, or we insulate ourselves with clothes. And we really work on insulating ourselves and protecting ourselves from what is out there, what is natural, what is nature. You know, we want to protect ourselves from the aging, so we put all our advertisement, young, smiley, healthy, young, hard bodies, and say, this is what it's like. And heaven forbid that we begin to age. We will ship off people to nursing homes, and we don't even want to look at death. It's just not in our mind. And there's this one 98-year-old who went into hospice, and she looked at the caregiver and said, "Why me?" In the human condition, there is transition and there is challenges. But in the spiritual condition, there is no death. The spirit carries on. There is that expression of spirit that is eternal. But in the human condition, people oftentimes don't want to look at it. They'll take the corpse, they'll put nice clothes on it, put makeup on its face, get its hair perfect, and act like it's still there. You know, and that's not what the spirit is. When the spirit is complete with the physical form, it releases it and moves on. It has served its purpose and it served its time. And the love that brought you together in this world is a vibration that transcends time and space. That love that has brought you together once will continue to bring you together because who you are is that energetic expression. And this has been merely one stopping point. For that presence of God is love, and that love continues and it is endless. And I know right now that as we begin to recognize that this is the natural state, that is not something that we have to fight against, that rather it's something we open up to and begin to experience the full expression of God, we become more present, because in the present moment is where the healing happens. You know the Las Vegas slogan? You got to be present to win. You got to be present to unfold the healing consciousness. But what happens is that people so often get caught up in their expectations, their ambitions, and it's the future. So they're not present, they're in the future, or they're in the past with regret or shame or whatever it is that pulls them in the past. So they're either in the past or in the future. But you got to be in this present moment if you want to experience the fullness and the unfoldment of God, to realize that at the present moment is where the healing happens. We hear so much about this great out-of-body experiences that we want to get caught up in the vision and the lights that we hear about. But I got to tell you, where it's really happening is the in-body experience, not the out-of-body experience. It's the in-body experience is where the Spirit's taken place. There were the Russian astronauts that were doing a space experiment. And they took several small fish to the space station. And this was, their experiments. And after a few weeks, the fish started to die. And it was interesting listening to these cosmonauts talk about how painful it was to lose these little fish. Where back on earth, they'd go fishing and they would think nothing about killing a fish. But up there where there's so little terrestrial life that they tried anything and everything, including mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, to save these fish. That is how precious life is when you don't see it all around. But that is the preciousness of life. And as you begin to recognize that, you begin to be present. And it is in the present moment where the healing consciousness unfolds itself from a reservoir that is within, that is quiet, that is still, that you're able to step into and experience or catch the vision as Marianne was singing to us about. And then you just got to continue to walk on that and be that place where the divine downloads. And as you are living within that frequency, healing happens. Not because I'm trying to change the conditions or fight the turbulence, but rather I am living as an expression of spirit. And what naturally happens around me is a resonant field of the wholeness being revealed. But we try to control things. We try to get the outcome we want. You know that little Sufi mystic who's really kind of a fool, Mullah Nasruddin? He one time got himself a donkey. And he was excited about the donkey until he had to feed it. And he realized how much the donkey ate and how much it cost to buy the feed. And it was costing him a lot of money and a lot of hassles. And so he concocted this plan that what he was going to do is cut back a little bit of food every day on the donkey. And so the donkey would get used to eating less food. And over the weeks, less food. He got it down to eating about just one little cup of grain in the course of the day. And he's feeling pretty good about himself. And the donkey dies. And he goes to the local tea house and he's talking to his buddies and said, man, I had this great plan. It was working perfectly. I was cutting back on this food and cutting back on this food. If I had another week, he would have been eating nothing and living, And it just shares with me that we sometimes forget about we need to take care of the physical body. And what we have are these inputs from life, from the conditions that is our feedback system, and we want to disregard it or we want to control it, but rather we've got to remember we are in this world but not of it. Right? That we are spirit. Like the nature of God, at least is what Ernest Holmes tells us, that the nature of God is our human nature. Stop to think about that. That the God nature is your nature. I mean, do you ever stop to realize the infinite potential that is there? That's a lot more than 110 miles of still water. Your potential is the God nature, which is infinite potential. Talk about unfolding a healing consciousness. You got to get your earthly conditions out of the way. Stop insulating yourself from what is out there trying to do battle or protect yourself, because as soon as you're into this protection mode, you're into battle and fight. You've got to be willing to let that spirit unfold through you and to be able to open your eyes to what life is saying and realize that it is spirit that is speaking there. Want to unfold the healing consciousness, begin to see as spirit sees. Be the activity that spirit is having. Be that place where the divine download is going on. Step out into that unknown. And I get stepping into the unknown can be a little scary. I mean, it almost feels helpless. You don't know what it is you're going to need. But what I've come to recognize more and more is the discomfort, uncomfort, I don't know if that's a word, but discomfort anyway. What it does is it becomes the threshold for you to step across and discover the attributes of your infinite being that you haven't brought forth before. What happens is as you begin to step into that discomfort in your life, into that place where you're feeling, I don't quite have control of this condition here, you are tapping into dormant capacities of your being that have heretofore remained in that silent, in the deep sense, in the lake, the reservoir of the infinite being that is behind all this commotion. Ernest Holmes talks about that part of us that has never been violated. When you got some cruddy stuff going on, always available to you is the ability to tap into that part of you that has never been violated, never been hurt, that is not caught up in those kind of conditions. But it comes down to what voice you're going to listen to. You're going to listen to that higher wisdom self. Look from your mountaintop. Listen to that voice that is like your hip older sibling, the mirth-making sorcerer of your being, that one that is pulling for you? Or are you going to listen to that one that is like a prison guard? The one that is just bored with your inabilities. You get to decide. I'm listening to vitality or I'm listening to fear. I'm listening to love or am I listening to fear? You are the one who gets to activate that in your life and step out into the unknown. This weekend, Friday, actually, a number of us, Callie and I drove up to Monterey to visit. Remember Reverend Debbie? It was her ordination Friday night, and it was fun. It was like old Seaside Home Week because Reverend Tammy was the presenting minister. Reverend Catherine Economo was the presiding minister, and I was the ordaining minister. And we had Seaside people in the crowd, whether it was Karen Koblenz or Linda Emerson or Audra Nicole. We were just cheering her on. And to see her, because when she left here, I don't know if I want to go. It's a gorgeous facility and paid for. And it was just so proud of her and Seaside. And as I was talking, and one of the things Debbie reached this year was her 30-year sobriety, which is a very significant point in someone's life, in her life. And so I encouraged her not to give up going to meetings because it's a great resource for stories that you get to share on Sunday mornings. And so I shared one of the ones I heard about the guy. I know I may have shared it here, but he was at a party, like probably last night kind of party, St. Patrick's Day. He had too much to drink. All his friends said, "Give me the keys. Let me take you home." He said, No, I got it. I only live a couple miles from here. And so jumped in the car. He started driving home. A few blocks later, cops pull him over. He said, "Driver's license, please." And he gave him the driver's license. They looked at it and said, "I'd like to ask you to step out of the car. I need you to walk the line for us." And as he was getting out of the car, the police radio started blaring about a robbery that was going on just around the corner. So the police officer said to this guy who was out of the car now, I said, "You just stay there. We'll be right back." And they went running around the corner to deal with this robbery. Well, he stood for only there so long. It's like, here's a gift from God. I'm out of here. Jumps in the car, races home, tells his wife, "If anybody comes looking for me for any reason, I wouldn't know why, but tell them I've got the flu and I've been sick in bed all day." And sure enough, a couple hours later, knocking on the door, a couple of police officers say, "Is Mr. Smith home?" And she says, "Yeah, he's home, but he's sick in bed with the flu. Can we see him?" I said, "No, he's not really feeling very well." I said, well, I would like to see his car. And she said, "Why?" And they insisted. So she said, "Follow me." And she took him out to the garage, and she opened up the garage door. And as she opened up the garage door, there in the garage was the police car with all the lights and sirens still going. Yeah. Spirit gives you these outs and these openings, but sometimes you're just stuck in your story and you just blow it. It is a matter of knowing that, I don't need to hold on to the guilt, the fear, the pain, the challenges, the energy that is out there. What I need to do is tap into that infinite higher expression of spirit if I want to unfold the healing consciousness in all present places. The Course in Miracles tells us to move beyond that which is blocking the ever-present love. Move beyond whatever is blocking the ever-present love. You got that? Ever-present love, God, spirit, wisdom, whatever you want to call it. You got to move beyond through the blocks. And you can't try to drag your behavior or your ideas with you. You got to be willing to let go and step into that place. And be willing to deal with what comes forth. Because if you're not dealing with not going to get pulled into the future, and you're not going to get pulled in the past, that you're going to say in the present moment is where the healing unfolds itself. Then what's going to come up for you is everything you've been trying to avoid. Sorry, guys. But you get to take a look at all these things, and it takes courage. You've got to be courageous in your willingness to take a look at what has had you running into the future, had you stuck in the past. If you want to unfold that healing consciousness, you just got to say, "Okay, come. I know to be present for the unfoldment of a higher state of being, I have to be willing to look at the very things I don't want to deal with, because this is where my healing lies. And the human condition cannot impact the spiritual expression of God. So I've got to be one with that God consciousness. I got to spiritualize my consciousness so I can look into these very conditions that are going on, not try to heal it, not try to change it, not try to say there's energy. It's the human condition, and what I am is an expression of the spiritual condition. And so look at it. One of the exercises I do in my mysticism class, I call it the one chair. And what I invite people to do in their assignment that week is they go into a room, a big old room, as empty as you can get, and you place a chair in the middle of the room. Not your back up against the wall so no one can get you. But you set the chair in the middle of the room, and you open up all the doors, and you open up all the windows, and you just sit there and let it come at you. And you will find all sorts of visitors, you'll find all sorts of expressions, all sorts of thoughts, everything coming to present itself in that moment for the expression to have its way. Your fears, your stuff, no matter what is going on in your life. Rachel Naomi Raymond, she wrote the book Kitchen Table Wisdom. MD, teaches up in the Bay Area, alternative medicine, integrative medicine. She shared the story about how she works with cancer patients and moving through whatever's coming up for them in the present moment, because if you're going through a condition, might as well let come up whatever needs to come up, because the healing is in consciousness and the body follows consciousness. She was working, when this one young kid, 24 years old, came to her, who had just had his leg amputated up to the hip because there was bone cancer, and they had to remove the leg to save his life. And he was filled with anger, resentment, bitterness, hatred to all healthy people. And it was a couple years of real rough going, why me, not fair, all those natural human emotions that come up at a time like that one needs to go through. She had him paint and draw and scribble and all sorts of pictures and things. And finally, he began to move to a place of healing and understanding that he still could live life and had gifts to give. And he started working with patients who had severely removed body parts or pieces. I don't know the proper political way to say that kind of stuff, but I should. It's my job, right? But there was this one young singer who lost her breast cancer. And she was filled with the anger and the bitterness, and they would have him go visit her. She refused even to look at him. She wouldn't even pick her head up. And so one day he went to visit her. It was a hot summer day, so he was wearing his jogging shorts with his prosthesis leg, and she wasn't responding. The radio was playing. The nurses probably turned it on to make her happy or something. And so what he did is he sat down, he unhinged his faux leg and laid it down on the ground and started dancing around the room on one leg, snapping the fingers to the beat of the music. And she just thought that was the most hysterical thing in the world and started cracking up and laughing. And as a result said, you know what, if you can dance, then by all means I can sing. Yeah, it's like that's the kind of something that can happen when you're allowing the Spirit to unfold the healing expression of wholeness. See, our healing is not based upon trying to fix the condition. It is about a recognition of our completeness and our wholeness already. When Naomi gave to him some of his early drawings, he would draw a vase that represented his body with a big black crack that he would draw bigger and bigger on this vase every time. And when she gave it to him a year or two later, and he looked at it, he said, this picture isn't complete. He said, there's now light coming through that crack. And he took a yellow crayon and he scribbled on all the vases with cracks the yellow light that's now coming into the vase, the light that is now coming into his body. And that is what can happen, is once we are able to move through, we begin to recognize the ever-present infinite love that we are the ones that have been blocking out, for whatever that reason is. But if I can come into the remembrance that I and God are one, and lean not on my own understanding, but in all my ways acknowledge Spirit, and for that is where the peace lies, in God. In presence, in wisdom, in the intelligence that guides the universe is the same intelligence that is moving through me, but it is about the recognition that I am already complete, that I am already whole, and I'm not trying to fight the rapids or the challenges or the difficulties in my life, but what I am doing is allowing myself to spiritualize my consciousness by coming into alignment with the truth of who I am, that which created me, that which can never die, that which is far greater than anything in this world, but I've been caught up with the illusion, with the jets, the hydroelectric, thinking that is the answer, forgetting that the infinite potential resides behind all that activity. That part of me that has never been violated is waiting to be tapped to express its fullness and its glory and its abundance and its love and its joy and its self-expression and its rapturous song. And all the love that we could ever begin to conjure up is just the beginning of that which wants to pour forth through you as you unfold your healing consciousness. God bless you. Mary Ann Lewis, come on back. Got a prayer for us?
I do.
You do.
Let's give it up for Reverend Christian. So just sharing this song as we continue in our remembrance of going to that place within the still small voice that's speaking to us always. And we get to hold our vision by knowing the word and speaking our prayers. So this is the prayer. I pray you'll be alright and watch us as we go and help us to be wise in times when we don't know. Let this be our prayer when we lose our way. Lead us to a place. Guide us with your grace to a place where we'll be safe. I pray we'll find your light and hold it in our heart. When stars go out each night, remind us who we are. Let this be our prayer when shadows fill our days. Lead us to a place. Guide us with your grace. Give us faith so we'll be safe. A world where pain and sorrow will be ended, and every heart that's broken will be mended, and we'll remember we are all God's children, reaching out to touch you, reaching deep inside. We ask that life be kind. All life is kind.
This is Marianne Lewis. Woo. Wow, that is good stuff. Guide us, God. Wow, that is perfect for unfolding the healing consciousness. Wow. Okay, well, with that open heart, I just invite us to feel that love and that pouring forth of that expression of God. And know that this is the time of our service where we pause and just say, Spirit, we're here for you. Spirit, use me. This time where we share our gifts and together we collectively create the support for us to journey through time as a spiritual community. So this time of service where we share our gifts and our offerings and our tithes, we share our love, we share our prayers, we contribute that. We become the activity that God is having, and as you give, it comes back, but it's not why you do it. That is just how it works. It is an extension of your consciousness through your action. So I invite you to listen to your heart and to give from that place. And with that, I want to invite our ushers to come forward at this time and say thank you to this wonderful, wonderful crew. Thank you to those who mail in your contributions when you can't be here on a Sunday. It is greatly appreciated, as well as those that remember us with their auto tithe, that regular systematic support from your world to support the activity of Spirit at Seaside. That consistency is extremely valuable to us to be able to take care of our obligations. And those of you that are home watching the live streaming or the archives, we appreciate your support and your participation through the PayPal and the notes you send in. It touches us deeply. And so with that, I share this prayer of gratitude with the most generous of spiritual communities, knowing that the blessings of the divine unfolds through each and every one of us in ever-expanding kind of ways. For the fullness and the grace of Spirit absolutely moves through each and every one of us, and we get ourselves out of the way and begin to find ourselves expanding in our consciousness, playing from a place of expansion, being that place of a divine download, bringing with it the richness and the blessings in our life in ways that are so perfect. I say thank you, Spirit, for using me and allowing me to share these gifts, knowing that it brings greater good to everyone it comes in contact. Thank you, Father, Mother, God, for this moment to be Spirit in action, and so it is. Amen. Together, let us say this affirmation of abundance, which is, Spirit continues to bless my world. Gratefully, I live as the giving expression of Spirit, opening the floodgates of the affluent of greater good as my life now. Your guys from Seaside, rocking the house. Great job. Guys gonna be there at 6 a.m. sunrise service, right? Okay, no gig on Saturday night, right? Okay, just checking. Anyway, I stand here before this bounty. I can feel the love. I can feel the outpouring of just caring and compassion. I can feel the divine blessing that has touched every contributor here today, every member of this family that moves within the wonderful vibration of this community of love and caring and abundance and well-being and joy. For truly the blessings of Spirit is greater than the physical location. It is an emanation of consciousness that is profound, and it is because of moments like this in which we have chosen to be used by Spirit. So we take that which has graced our life and we share that, knowing that continues bringing the grace to all it touches. It is received in love, it is handled in grace, and it's sent forth back into that life. And I just say thank you, Father, Mother, God, for using us here now. And so it is. Amen. All right. This is Nikki, one of your board members here at Seaside. Thank you. Marianne, you're just wonderful, and your songs are terrific, and the way they both come together is incredible. Thank you, thank you. And Danielle, thank you for slipping us in between last night's gig and this afternoon's expression. You're a blessing to us. Thank you so much. And Rosedale, my goodness, a few more months and you graduate. Rosedale Jones. Thank you, Matthew, for giving us sound. Mar, for giving us the visuals. Appreciate you guys. And know that there's CDs available after the service if you would like to pick one up. As well as take a look at the Sunday program, see what's going on. Find out about the Easter services at 9, at 11, at 6 a.m., and the wonderful music and the magic that is going on. And as you also heard, next Sunday is New Member Sunday. So we're welcoming in new members to our family. But if you're interested, fill out one of those forms today on the way out and let Tina know. Count you in. Know that I'm doing a class today to answering any questions, filling you in between about all the inner workings of this community. So after service, I'll be doing that. That will be wonderful for sure. And tonight, Tess and her hubby are doing a breakthrough workshop. I think it's their last one here because they're moving to Florida. So it's a wonderful opportunity to experience the talent among our community that is going on. And take a look at classes. Tuesday night, Elizabeth Root is about the alchemy of clutter, moving through that. Thursday night is Karen, Stop Thinking and Start Thanking. Her class is being offered. So there are a lot of things that are wonderful at Seaside that you're invited to be part of. And speaking of that, look at our kids. Anybody have anything they'd like to share? Yes. There we go. What you got, Keen? You know what? Let's see if we can get something working better. Try it now.
Today we were talking about friends.
Wow, that is a wonderful thing to talk about. And are you a friend to someone?
Uh-huh.
Oh, good. All right. Beautiful. Yes.
We got these lucky charms things.
Ooh. Yeah, go with your green shirt. Did you want to say something? Anybody else want to say something? Yes, what would you like to say?
Sometimes I love my mommy.
Yeah. Sometimes, huh? That's...
And sometimes we go to the beach. Sometimes and go to the pool.
Wow, now that's a good friend. Did you have your hand up?
Yeah. Today we were singing a song today, and also we were talking about love and being kind, and we were making we had our little unicorns, and we were coloring it and making happy stuff.
Wow.
For St. Patrick's Day.
Happy stuff is good. You guys doing good work in there. Nice. And know that if anybody wants to participate in our youth program, like 1 hour a month, you can do that. It's a wonderful gift. What's this? Oh, my. I got birthday cards and cake. And
Here we go. Happy birthday.
thank you.
Happy birthday to you.
Hey, that was fun.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Christian. Happy birthday to you.
Hey. Thank you. This is very funny. You guys can sit down. I still got to pray. This is hysterical. This is a chili recipe. And anybody who's been around here for a few years absolutely knows that I have not yet won the coveted wooden spoon of chili making. First prize. So you guys have now given me a award-winning recipe. So if I don't win this year, it's no longer my fault. Blow out the candle. So I'm going to wish that I win this year. There we go. So enjoy the cake. It's about the size that you better get there fast because it won't last long, but we know how to multiply food around here. So it's amazing. So I want to pray. So I want to invite any of our religious science practitioners that are present to stand in this moment and just allow all of us to feel that life force, that presence and that power. That's something, that all animating life that is in and through all things. It is the intelligence for which we have been created. It is the very life of our being. It is that first breath, first cause. It is that which is eternal, immortal, and the infinite potential that comes from the stillness and the connectedness, becoming the transparency of that life force that transcends space and time, physical form. For that infinite presence of God is moving right here in this moment that is powerful. Feel it and sense it and know that you are that. You are that presence. All that Spirit is your true nature. Contemplate the infinite potential of Spirit and know that is the truth of you. And it is in this divine resonance, this wonderful frequency, that this vibration of the divine downloads its expression as your very life in all those places of question and concern. For yes, there are human conditions. We do not deny that. But as the consciousness becomes more spiritualized, anything unlike that naturally falls away. And the consciousness expands and the realization begins to recognize that the body truly is the temple of God and that it moves with this perfect circulation and the vibration of Spirit itself. The perfect vehicle to house the conscious awareness that you are having as you walk this world, but not absorbed by this world. You're of Spirit. The joy, the love, the life, the abundant, the ever-expanding extension of God itself. Feel the ease and the grace as you move through this world, living with a sense of deeper understanding and greater success and financial flow and a healthy physical body. The joy in relationships, the contentment in your Dharma expression. For God absolutely has its way. And I know it does so here, very heart of Seaside. But Seaside continues to live in this wonderful expression and vibration of love and kindness and caring. We continue to express Spirit ever clearer in healthier kinds of ways as we continue to thrive and to expand and say yes to the vision that presents itself to our field of awareness. I know every prayer request that has been brought forth to our prayer request chest is now answered. A lot of love goes out in this moment to one of our beloved brothers, Marty Klein, board member, longtime member, just an engaged individual who was with his Seaside brothers yesterday at the men's breakfast, who laid down his body a little bit later and moved on from this dimension in this world. Then Marty moves on with those currents of eternality, expressing himself with the freedom and the ease and the calm and the clarity, leaving a wake of love and remembrance in our hearts of the joy and his compassion and his caring. That wonderful expression that greeted all of us week after week at the 9 o'clock service. That Spirit continues to live within the heart and soul of this community as he moves on from having completed his journey here, but that love remains. And what continues to emerge here at Seaside is a sense of family that is able to sing together, grieve together, love together, be together in all of its grace and ugliness, knowing that His Spirit expresses in a diversity of ways and that we're able to just be present and see as God sees the truth, the wholeness, the completeness, the fullness, in all things. As Seaside continues to move forward in its ever-growing extension of love. So grateful to know something good's going on here today at Seaside. In our hearts and our souls, the shift in consciousness, the personal experience of healing, lift into anything into the space that needs a transformative touch. Let it go. Spirit. There's a higher wisdom that guides the universe and the galaxies it knows. And so I trust that. Even if I cannot control it, I choose to have the faith and the trust in that higher vibration of spirit. I let go with the thanksgiving, knowing all is well, for His Spirit expressing. We have become that place through which it touches down. So with gratitude, knowing the words are so, that they're manifesting, that love prevails, we let go, allow Spirit to absolutely have its way in this moment, here and now. And so it is. Amen.
There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go. And this is what you've got to say. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Come on, Seaside, let's hear you. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. Yeah.
All right. And one more announcement I forgot to make, and I promised Kathy Hearn I would make it, but next Saturday there is a march in San Diego with the families and children who are against violence with guns in schools. And so Kathy Hearn is meeting Kevin Busey Center along with Wendy Craig Purcell's Unity. And it's a statement called Bolder Together with AG&T, the Association for Global New Thought. So at 9:30, Rosedale told you where it was. Marv will put it up on the screen afterwards. 9:30 near the snack shack or something. Okay, so anyway, if you want to march with Dr. Kathy Hearn and other centers for spiritual living and unities, that's the place to be. But other than that, here's our affirmation for the week, and it is, I am conscious of spirit in all conditions. Together, I am conscious of spirit in all conditions. Touch your heart and say it again. I am conscious of spirit in all conditions. One more time like you mean it. I am conscious of spirit in all conditions. And our song of grace.
I'm living in love. I'm living in peace. I'm living my life for what I believe, through joys and through fears. In this world I walk, God's grace shines on me, and it shines on us all. We are living in grace. one family. We honor all truth as together we walk. God's grace moves through me and it moves through us all. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We are living in grace. We are living in grace.
Have a great Sunday, Seaside.